Hi friends, this is Chris. Welcome back to the channel, and this is your daily news fix. So we're talking about the Fed and possible global recession, also news from Apple, Tesla, and NEO, and we're talking about the update on the auto worker strike. So let's just jump right in and look at the headlines together here. Fed officials see more rate hikes possible while inflation persists. And this is an odd one because essentially you're getting mixed signals from the Fed. Remember, they just had their FOMC meeting, and basically Federal Chair Jerome Powell came out and said, hey guys, interest rates could be higher, and for longer, you're going to have more pain ahead. However, we're not going to do anything today. Then the next day, one of the Fed people come out, and this is Bowman, says, hey, inflation looks bad. We could be raising interest rates maybe once, maybe two more times, and get ready for some pain. And my question is, okay, so if you're going to have all of this tough talk, why don't you just do it already, right? And this is what I'm saying by mixed signals. And this has certainly spooked the market. You can see here, Dow went down 100 points on Friday, and then S&P and NASDAQ, this is the worst week since March, right? So this is definitely a change of tune for the market. Moreover, keep an eye on what's going on in China. We talk about this all the time. So evidently the Evergrande people, so that was the property developers who just declared bankruptcy recently, they were supposed to have some sort of meeting about restructuring and these kind of things. And basically, there was no meeting. They canceled it. And I think probably they're like, you know what? We don't have any money. There's nothing to talk about. But do keep an eye on this. Property developers and, real estate is a big part of the Chinese economy. And if they slow down, that'll definitely slow down the world, which they certainly are slowing down. And we're going to see if they can recover. The other one you want to keep an eye on is what's going on with Russia, what's going on with essentially the oil market. Last time I checked, I think we're looking at $100 a barrel kind of thing. And then they're saying here, Russia has indefinite ban on diesel exports. Not infinite, but indefinite ban. So I guess it's kind of the same thing. But basically, gas prices will likely go up this winter, would be my guess when you read these kind of headlines. Moreover, this is something that we just talked about yesterday, how the American consumer is really struggling. And again, all this stuff is kind of saying the same thing. Our credit card losses are rising at the fastest pace since the great financial crisis. Evidently, Goldman Sachs is saying we may have credit card problems until the end of 2024, early 2025. That's a long ways out still, but essentially, you guys know American savings accounts are dwindling, and they've been having to use their credit cards more to pay for just daily expenses. Your housing payment, housing costs, as like 44% of your household income, which is way too high. We talked about that just yesterday. And then now we see we have credit card problems. We'll keep an eye on this one. I think this is a real thing to keep track of. Moreover, update on the India-Canada thing. So India is saying Canada is a safe haven for terrorists. Obviously not a very nice thing to say. And then to shoot back, Canada, I'm just reading this here, surveillance of Indian diplomats in Canada led to allegations around the Sikh killing. So we're kind of wondering, Canada must have some sort of goods or something, but basically it sounds like they just were watching what the Indians were doing because the allegations that members of the Indian state were the ones who killed that guy. So we'll keep an eye on this. I just don't want any conflict or anything like that. And, sadly, and this is just where, regular people get caught up. India was suspending visas. If you're Canadian, you can't go back to India. And just for regular people, there's some people I was just reading, wanted to go to their, family member's wedding, can't go, or someone wanted to go to their, family member's funeral, these kind of things, they can't go. And so, when regular people are caught up in that kind of stuff, I don't feel happy about that. And I don't make any jokes about this stuff. And, because it's just regular people getting caught up in what these two countries are fighting about or whatever. So I do keep an eye on that. In terms of more happy news, pumpkin spice over at Starbucks. It is happy news. I guess it's 20, so they've been having this stuff for a long time. And if you're a big fan of pumpkin spice, you can type that in the comments. And moreover, if you're worried if we're going to get killed by asteroids, evidently maybe, but not until, I guess, September 24th, 2182. And if that does happen, I think we'll be gone by then. But it could be the force of 24 nuclear bombs, and I guess the chance is low, and hopefully we have big laser beams by then. Also, more good news, actually, a member of the community got a copy of my book recently. So this was 8-bit torrent, so I do appreciate that he's saying here, but looking forward to getting my hands on Norland's book. excited to read during some upcoming travel. So I do appreciate that. And if you guys are on Threads, you can tag me in Threads and post a picture or email me one when you get your copy. And please post a review on Amazon when you can. And if you haven't already, check it out. It's called Positive Angle, and it's on Amazon. And it's a great book. I wrote it. Also, too, talking about Apple, as I said, we're talking about Apple News, Tesla, and NIO. So evidently, people were going to the Apple stores because the Apple i15 was released. And this is a real thing. When these kind of new products come out, Chinese people go and then they'll buy them and then they'll sell them on essentially like a black market because there's not that many made at first. And this will happen for a lot of products. So this isn't unusual. And one of the things I want you to think about when you see these kind of headlines, is another simple example. Apple CEO Tim Cook appears in New York to celebrate the iPhone 15 release. Is understand that, some news is kind of fluff, like this kind of thing, because we don't know what actual sales are. We just know that a couple of stores, the people showed up to buy the phones, right? And when you look at the news of this stuff, and this is what I do with you guys every day, is try to just look for facts, right? And understand when some things are maybe a little fluff and some things are not. So this is kind of a fluff piece. It doesn't mean that no one's buying phones. It's just saying that, take it with a grain of salt. Understand that. And the reason why I mention that is because, here's an example, another one. This would be a fact. Chinese EV maker NIO raised $1 billion in convertible bond deal. This sounds like dilution to me, right? So you can't just make stuff up. And this would be a fluff piece. Here, read it. Chinese EV maker NIO releases a smartphone and expects at least half of its users to buy. See, this is why, it goes to the news with you guys every day, is just try to cut through the BS. So, here, this is fact. Okay, it looks like they're having trouble with their money. They got a bond coming out. They're raising money, etc. Probably dilution. This right here, they're saying, okay, we're going to release a smartphone. Okay, that's fact. But they say they expect half of their people to buy a phone. And I'm just like, really? Did you guys see what I'm saying here? So this is sort of how you learn to read the news. Of like, okay, I see what you're saying, but is this even matter? And like when a company says that they're, going to expect a bunch of people to buy said things, you just take that with a grain of salt because they don't know what the customers are going to do. And to expect half your customers to buy your phone, which I think is kind of ludicrous because you're competing against Huawei and Apple and these kind of things. So that's kind of nonsense. Moreover, here's another good example. If you follow Tesla pumpers, they'll just tell you everything's great all the time and Elon Musk is awesome, etc. But I look at what people are doing. So Kathy Wood, who's the biggest Tesla pumper, she's selling stock. You can see right here. Kathy Wood dumps 170,000 shares of Tesla this week, right? And this was just dated 9/22. And then you can check the facts. ARK, this is all on, all public available. They've been selling Tesla. So on September 21st, September 20th, September 19th, September 14th, etc. They were selling tons of shares. I can see all the numbers right here. Moreover, they haven't bought shares of Tesla. This is ARK and Kathy Wood. Last time they did was like back in April. So, we'll see if they start buying again. But lately, the last, since June at least, they've been selling. And again, you want to look for fact and try to pick out the fluff. Here's another one. This is actually really an interesting one. So I guess fact, Senator Bob Menendez, this is a Democrat out of New Jersey. He's being charged with taking bribes. Okay. And so that's a fact. He's being charged. And they even came up with the, I laugh because it's actually really quite funny when you read it. Not funny to him, of course, but funny to us. Or maybe not so funny, but sad, funny to our keyword, etc. I guess they went to his house, the prosecutors, and they found like a bunch of gold bars, a car, and then the big one was a lot of like cash stuffed in envelopes. Now, Menendez, in his defense, he's going to say, this is normal. This is just people trying to smear me. And to be fair, I guess charges of this have happened before, but he's beat them. So, the fact is they found the stuff at his house. He doesn't deny that. The question is like, why do you have a bunch of, cash envelopes in your house? We'll see what happens with this one. I'll just say, like I said, he's beat these things before, but this looks pretty bad. And it's hard to defend this kind of stuff that you just, happen to have a bunch of cash in your house. And maybe he's counting on the banks failing, and because he's in New Jersey, right near in New York, and he's just like, you know what, I'm going to bank with the bank of mattress. So, that is what it is. Regarding the auto workers, it's going to get worse, it looks like. So auto workers, they're going to expand to 38 locations in 20 states. If you've been following this, which we were tracking it, they started with just 3 different plants. Now it's just like going to be all over the place. So I mean, and this is the interesting thing is that it's General Motors and Stellantis' expansion. I guess they're not going to expand the strikes to Ford because evidently the union president was saying like Ford is at least willing to negotiate, but I guess GM and Stellantis aren't. So this could get really ugly. I mean, it's already ugly now, but even more so with the expansion again to 38 more locations in 20 states. So will other workers be inspired by this and to strike also? You know, we will see. I was looking at some more details of this. So we talked about this before. So the workers who are on strike, they're paid $500 a week. Evidently, the union has a kind of a fund to do this to help workers out of $825 million. So they can do this for a while. However, they have 146,000 workers. This is why they don't do a general strike, is because frankly, it's just tough, right? If people are living paycheck to paycheck, for example, they can't just, you know, quit their jobs, and the union can't necessarily pay them to do so. So, you know, from the auto factory or the automaker's point of view is like, well, we're just trying to bleed them out. And that's the same, you know, sort of mentality on both sides. And you know, moreover, if you've been following the news and I've been following a bit, the government may or may not shut down. So that's something else that's going on. I haven't mentioned it, but you know, because generally they don't, but you know, it's usually they talk about shutting down. They talk about shutting down. This is like the last minute. They make some sort of deal, but with the auto workers, they really are going on strike, and evidently they're expanding. The other thing too, which I think is interesting, is I guess the negotiations are going a little bit better. They were saying here now on the table is like at least I guess things are coming from Ford. They're looking at a 20% increase in pay. And I remember the auto workers were asking for like 40. Then before the manufacturers were saying we'll give you 10. So now it's kind of bumped up to 20 is what it sounds like. And my understanding too, the UAW moved their sort of thing down to 35. So if they're going to meet in the middle, maybe the end result will be 25% increase over 4 years or something like that, or 30%. So I don't think they're going to get the 40, and I don't think they're going to get the 32-hour work week as what they were asking for. So anyway, that's been the news for the day. Love to hear your thoughts on any one of these stories. And I always appreciate your time.